Hello everyone and welcome to High 1 session number 9. Today we'll be covering pages 18 and page 41 of our magazine. Remember last session we discussed the word chart on page 17. We came up with some examples. Now, here on page 18, we've got some exercises. Okay, let's see. Exercise 2.C. Complete the sentences with the words from the box. There are 2 extra words. First, let's take a look at the words. Check out the words, everyone, and take a listen, please. Unleash, unleash, assumption, assumption, mechanisms, mechanisms, commitment, commitment, immeasurable, immeasurable, revenge, revenge, measurable, measurable, inseparable, inseparable, random, random, separable, separable, wow, wow, uncommitted. All right, number 1. The law has had little measurable effect since it was introduced 2 years ago. So the correct answer, measurable. By the way, when we introduce a law, we present it. Introduce to present. Number 2. He dreamed of taking revenge on his father's killers. Take revenge. And remember, when we take revenge, we try to harm someone because they have done something wrong to us. Number 3. Our company has a commitment to quality and customer service. Has a commitment. We are committed. You know, quality, customer service, everyone, deals with questions and problems that customers have. Number 4. The officers were still reluctant to unleash their troops in pursuit of a defeated enemy. So the officers, the army officers, were reluctant. Reluctant means unwilling. They weren't sure about it. They didn't want to it. So reluctant means unwilling, opposite of willing. So they didn't want to unleash their troops, their soldiers, to set their soldiers in pursuit of. In pursuit of, remember, means following, chasing a defeated enemy. When we defeat someone, we win them. Yeah, we beat them. So defeated, beat. Number 5. Physical health is not always easily separable from mental health. Separable. Remember, physical is related to body and mental is related to mind. So they are not easily separable. Number 6. The freedom to become an entrepreneur or choose our occupation is a freedom of immeasurable value. Immeasurable value. So the freedom to become an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur, everyone, is someone who starts a business and tries hard to become successful. And occupation means our job. So it is a freedom of immeasurable value. When something is immeasurable, they're too great, too big, so valuable. Number 7. The atomic particles seem to move in a completely random direction. Random direction. Atomic, everyone, is the adjective form of atom. Particles are small pieces of matter. So they move in a random direction. Random direction means, everyone, there is no pattern, without pattern. Number 8. Priests have to take a vow of obedience to the Catholic Church. Priests are those holy religious people who work in churches. They take a vow. They make a promise of obedience. Obedience is the noun form of obey. Remember, when we obey someone, we follow and we do what they want. So obedience, the opposite is unobedience. So they need to take a vow of obedience to the Catholic Church. Roman Catholic Church. Remember, Catholic or Roman Catholic Church. Number 9. The Army has set up mechanisms to help jobless ex-soldiers get work. Mechanisms. Set up means establish, found, jobless, unemployed, and ex means before. Ex-soldiers, they used to be soldiers. Number 10. My calculations were based on the assumption that house prices would remain steady. Yeah, on the assumption. Remember, on the assumption means thinking that, believing that, supposing that. And when the prices remain steady, something that doesn't exist in our beloved country, they are regular, they are not changing, they remain steady. Okay? Well, 2D. In the passage below, try to guess the meaning of the new words and then do exercise 2E. Okay. Let's take a listen. Listen to the text. I'd like to just read it out. Then we will go over the new vocabulary items. Okay. He woke up early in the morning. Leonard had to prepare for an interview he was to have in a few hours. But worry had already taken all his energy. He had no vigor left. There was nothing, no sign that could be considered as a good omen to guarantee success. It looked as if he was doomed to fade. He was breathless, choking on his own disappointment. It was as though there was an inscription written in bold letters. His father's words, "You are a failure, and failure is what you get." His father was a cunning, nefarious man, hated by almost everyone. despite being appreciated for his business skills. Being the descendant of that father meant he had to live up to his old man's expectations, however hard to come by. He was lodged in deep thoughts, and there was no escape. Poor Leonard. So he woke up early in the morning. Leonard woke up early in the morning. Leonard had to prepare for an interview. Remember, had to is the past form of have to and has to, or has got to, or have got to. So he had an interview. He wants to have everyone to be to do something means to be going to do something. For example, I am to meet a friend today. I am to do something. He was to have. It means he was going to have an interview in a few hours. But worry has already taken all his energy. So Leonard was worried. He had no energy left. He had no vigor left. Again, vigor means energy. Yeah? He was just out of energy, anxious, and agitated. There was nothing, no sign that could be considered as a good omen to guarantee success. Omen, of course, we have it in the vocabulary exercise, means sign. So there was no sign, nothing to guarantee his success. In short, he was just feeling desperate, hopeless. He thought he's done and this is the end. This is the end of the world. It looked as though he was doomed to fail. Everyone, when we say to be doomed to something, means it is certain to happen. He was doomed to fail. He was certain to fail. He was a failure. He was breathless. He couldn't breathe, choking on his own disappointment. You know, choking, when you choke, you can't breathe. And when you are disappointed, or when there is a feeling of disappointment, you feel hopeless, disappointed. It was as if there was an inscription, there was a piece of writing written in bold letters. You know, bold letters in typing, when you use Microsoft Office, you can use bold letters. His father's words. So these are his father's words. You are a failure, and failure is what you get. So his father told him, Leonard, you are a failure. You can never succeed, and you are doomed to fail. Failure is what you get. His father was a cunning, nefarious man. So Leonard's father was a cunning, was a crafty, wily, dishonest, and nefarious, evil man, hated by almost everyone, and everyone hated his father, despite and in spite of being appreciated for his business skills. So, although Leonard's father had great business skills, he was hated by almost everyone. Being the descendant of that father, so being the descendant, you are the descendant of your grandparents, your great grandparents, descendant, and they are your ancestors. So Leonard was the descendant of his father, and it meant that he had to live up to. Live up to means to follow, act according to his old man's expectations, his father's expectations. So his father was kind of difficult, hard to please, difficult to satisfy. He had a lot of expectations, however hard to come by. To come by means to get, to obtain, to achieve. He was lodged in deep thoughts, so he was stuck. His mind was occupied. He had a lot on his mind, and there was no escape. Poor Leonard. He was just stuck and feeling desperate and hopeless. All right, now check out the vocabulary items here. Exercise 2E. Match words 1 through 10 with the meanings A through J. Now, look at the words, everyone, and take a listen. 1. Nefarious, nefarious. 2. Doom, doom. 3. Choke, choke. 4. Vigor, vigor. 5. Descendant, descendant. 6. Inscription, inscription. 7. Respectively, respectively. 8. Omen, omen. 9. Lodge, lodge. 10. Coincidence, coincidence. Now, let's do the matching. So, number 1, nefarious, nefarious. It means J, everyone, evil or criminal, bad, nasty, nefarious. By the way, the noun form is nefariousness and nefariously. Yeah? Nefariously. Number 2, doom. The meaning is E. To make someone certain to fail or die. Remember, as I told you, we say be doomed to something. For example, he was or he is doomed to failure, to defeat, or I don't know, we say something is doomed to extinction, or etc. Or we say be doomed to do something. Leonard was doomed to fail. We are doomed to die. Okay? It means it will certainly happen. By the way, the adjective form is doomed. Everyone, doomed. So, one more time. Be doomed to failure, to defeat, to extinction, or be doomed to do something. Means something is certain to happen, and the adjective is doomed. Number 3, choke. It matches with F. Be unable to breathe. Breathe. Remember, this is the verb form, breathe. The noun form is breath. Breath. Without an E at the end. Number 4, vigor. Vigor. Vigor means C. Physical or mental energy and determination. Vigor. Everyone, the adjective form is vigorous. Vigorous, R-O-U-S. And the adverb is vigorously. Vigorously. They exercised vigorously, or we have vigorous exercise, for example. 5. Descendant. Descendant. The meaning is I. Someone related to a person living a long time ago. For example, you are a descendant of your grandparents or great-grandparents. And as I told you, they are your ancestors. So, we are somebody's descendants, means we are related to them, or the descendant of someone. Inscription. Inscription. Everyone, inscription means H. Writing carved on stone. Yes. Of course, inscription refers to words that are written or cut in something, not just on stone. Yeah, it can be metal too. It can be, I don't know, on the wall. Yes. So words that are written or cut in something. Inscription. Respectively, everyone. Respectively. Respectively means correspondingly. Correspondingly, in the order mentioned, respectively. Number 8, omen. Omen. The correct definition is G, a sign of what will happen in the future. Omen. By the way, we have a good omen, we have a bad omen, we have an ill omen of something, yeah, or an omen for something. Lodge, lodge as a verb means be, to become firmly stuck. So lodge, to stuck, become firmly stuck. Get stuck, to get stuck. Okay, so the opposite is dislodge, everyone. Dislodge, D-I-S, lodge, dislodge, lodge and dislodge. So to get stuck, and the opposite is dislodge. Coincidence means two things happening at the same time. Coincidence. It is a noun. Well, the verb form is coincide. Coincide. When two things coincide, everyone, they happen at the same time. Yeah, coincide. Then the noun form is coincidence. The adjective form is coincidental and coincidentally. So coincide, coincidence, coincidental, and coincidentally. Well, time to activate the words. Okay? Now, let's use the words we just learned to fill in the blanks and complete these sentences. Exercise 2F. Complete the sentences with the correct form of the words in exercise. Okay, number 1. In the 200 meters, Lizzie and Sarah came first and third, respectively. So, who came first? Lizzie. And who came third? Sarah, respectively, correspondingly. Number 2. Is it mere coincidence that they always seem to employ men? So, mere coincidence, sheer coincidence, only or just coincidence that they employ men. Remember, when we employ someone, we hire or we recruit them. And in I levels, we had the opposites: to fire, axe someone, or give someone the sack. Okay, number 3. Tens of people who drank such water are doomed to die, say doctors. Doomed to die. Remember, doomed to do something. Of course, be doomed to do something means it will certainly happen. So they are about to die. They will certainly die. So to be doomed to do something. Number 4, the fishbone was lodged in her throat. So lodged in, it got stuck in her throat. Fishbone, you know what fishbone is. Fishbone was lodged, it got stuck. Number 5, he was a direct descendant of Napoleon Bonaparte. A direct descendant. He was related to Napoleon Bonaparte. For example, Napoleon Bonaparte was his grandfather or great grandfather. And of course, uh, Bonaparte was his ancestor. Okay, so he was a direct descendant, and Bonaparte was his ancestor. Number 6, many of the spies had been involved in murder, blackmail, or other nefarious activities. Nefarious activities. Well, spy, remember Gordon Fletcher? They thought he was a spy. He just collected some top secret information and he gave it away. So, murder means to kill someone, and we commit a murder. As you remember, the person who commits a murder is a murderer. To blackmail everyone, when we get money from someone or when we force them to do something by threatening to tell their secrets to other people, we blackmail them. And nefarious activities, evil or criminal activities. Number 7, he will regard your presence as an omen of good fortune. Omen. So, to regard, to think of something, to consider. Presence means to be present, the noun form. An omen, a sign of good fortune, a sign of good luck, let's say. Number 8, 6 people choked to death on the fumes. So they were unable to breathe because of fumes, because of gas or smoke, and unfortunately, they lost their lives. They died. So sad. Number 9, we read the inscriptions on the graves and wondered what each of those lives had been like. Inscription, remember, of course, the answer is inscriptions here, the plural form. Anyways, inscription means writing carved on a stone or on the wall or something. Grave is a place where we bury a dead person, and the area is called a graveyard or a cemetery. And number 10, his vigor and passion impressed me. Vigor and passion. Well, vigor means energy, determination. And remember the adjective vigorous and vigorously, the adverb. Your passion means a strong desire or liking of something, and it impressed me. It was impressive. I felt impressed. Okay, hope everything is crystal clear so far, everyone. Now, could you please go to page 41? Yes. Fun time. Oops. Just a sec. Fun time. Okay. Yes, here. So, welcome to fun time. Well, we've got 2 jokes here, everyone. Again, I'd like to read out each joke, then we will discuss it, we will check out the new words. Okay, for now, just take a listen. A mishap. A woman got on a bus holding a baby. The bus driver said, "That's the ugliest baby I've ever seen." In a huff, the woman slammed her fare into the fare box and took an aisle seat near the rear of the bus. The man seated next to her sensed that she was agitated and asked her what was wrong. The bus driver insulted me, she fumed. The man sympathized and said, "Why? He's a public servant and shouldn't say things to insult passengers." "You're right," she said. I think I'll go back up there and give him a piece of my mind." "That's a good idea," the man said. "Here, let me hold your monkey." Poor woman. So, a mishap. Everyone, mishap means bad luck, an unlucky event, a terrible situation, a mishap. So, a woman got on a bus. Remember, we say get on a bus, and when it is our stop, we get off a bus. Get on and get off. Holding a baby, and of course, she was holding a baby. She was carrying, of course, she had a baby. The bus driver said, "That's the ugliest baby I've ever seen." So, ugly means not attractive, unattractive, or hideous. So, he was kind of rude. So, he thought the baby was so ugly. In a half means everyone angrily or offended. But while she was offended, upset, the woman slammed her fare into the fare box. Well, fare means money you pay for your transportation. For example, we have airfare, bus fare, taxi fare. So she put the fare, the money, into the fare box angrily. She just slammed it into the fare box. Well, when we slam something somewhere, we just throw it, we use force because we are agitated or angry or something. And took an aisle seat near the rear of the bus. Well, everyone, take a seat means sit down. So, what is an aisle seat? You know, on buses or on planes, some seats are by the window and some are by the aisle. Aisle means the corridor. So, those seats that are by the window are called window seats or just window, or those that are by the aisle are called aisle seats. For example, would you like a window or an aisle? Which means, would you like a window seat or an aisle seat? So, she took a seat, an aisle seat, near the rear of the bus. Rear, everyone, is opposite of front, so back of the bus, near the end of the bus, rear of the bus. The man seated next to her, so there was a man sitting next to her, and so this man, of course, was sitting on, he had a window seat. So the man sensed that she was agitated. The man felt that, noticed that this woman was agitated, was nervous, anxious. Everyone, the verb form of agitated is agitate. When something agitates you, it annoys you, it bothers you, you feel agitated, and the noun form is agitation. And asked her, the man asked her, what was wrong? What was the matter? What was the problem? The bus driver insulted me. When we insult someone, we offend them, we say bad words. She fumed. She said angrily. Okay? She fumed. The man sympathized and said, Well, when you sympathize with someone, you try to understand and you care about someone's problem. So the man tried to be understanding and said, why? He's a public servant and shouldn't say things to insult passengers. So the man thought the bus driver is a public servant. Public servant means everyone, a government employee, a public worker, someone who provides services, and he shouldn't say things to insult passengers. He should be nice to passengers. He has no right to insult passengers. You're right, she said. So the woman agreed him. You're right, you're correct. I think I'll go back up there and give him a piece of my mind. So the woman said she would go back there, she would go to the bus driver and give him a piece of her mind. Well, everyone, to give someone a piece of your mind means tell them what you think of them, especially when you are angry. We have another phrase for it. We say, tell someone off. So she decided to go to the bus driver and tell him off or give him a piece of her mind. That's a good idea. That's a great idea. The man said, here, let me hold your monkey. Let me keep your monkey. And by monkey, he meant her baby. Yeah. Okay. Well, the second one, mental patient. Again, take a listen, please. John and David were both patients in a mental hospital. One day, while they were walking, they passed the hospital swimming pool, and John suddenly dove into the deep end. He sank to the bottom and stayed there. David promptly jumped in and saved him, swimming to the bottom of the pool and pulling John out. The medical director came to know of David's heroic act. He immediately ordered that David be discharged from the hospital as he now considered him to be okay. The doctor said, David, we have good news and bad news for you. The good news is that we're going to discharge you because you have regained your sanity since you were able to jump in and save another patient. You must be mentally stable. The bad news is that the patient that you saved hanged himself in the bathroom and died after all. David replied, Doctor, John didn't hang himself. I hung him there. Okay. Thank you, John. So, mental patient. Well, patient means someone who is not okay, someone who is not feeling well, a sick person. Mental patient. John and David were both patients in a mental hospital. Mental hospital means psychiatric hospital. So John and David were mentally ill. Yeah, they were in a psychiatric hospital. One day, while they were walking, they passed the hospital swimming pool. So David and John were walking and they passed the pool in the hospital. And John suddenly dove into the deep end. So John suddenly, all of a sudden, dove into the deep end. I think I've got a picture. Let me, if I can find it. Yes, it's here. Okay, let me just share it. So, everyone, in a pool, we have Okay, you see, this is a pool. Okay, so this is the shallow end, everyone. This is the shallow end, and this is the deep end. Okay, so shallow end and deep end. So John suddenly dove into the deep end. All right. Uh, so not a good thing to do, of course. Okay, let's see. Yeah. So he suddenly, all of a sudden, dove into. Well, dove, everyone, is the past form of dive, dive, dove. Or, of course, we can say dived. When you dive into water, you jump into water. So he dove into the deep end of the shallow end. He sank to the bottom, sink and sank. We had it in the text about Omar Khayyam, the Titanic sank. So sink, sank. He sank to the bottom because he couldn't swim and stayed there. David promptly jumped in. Promptly, everyone means immediately, at once, without delay, instantly. He promptly jumped in and saved him, saved John. Swimming, David swam to the bottom of the pool and pulling John out. So he swam to the bottom of the pool and he pulled John out. The medical director, the head of the hospital, the administrator of the hospital, came to know of David's heroic act. So he got to know of his heroic act. Heroic means courageous, brave, his brave action. He immediately, the director immediately, at once, ordered that David be discharged from the hospital. Well, when we discharge someone from the hospital, we allow them to leave, we let them go. As here means because, since, because, for, he now considered him to be okay. The director thought David was okay. He was mentally stable. The doctor said, David, we have good news and bad news for you. So the director had a piece of good and a piece of bad news for him. Everyone remember, news is uncountable. So we say some news or we say a piece of news. Watch out, please. So the good news is that we are going to discharge you. So they're going to let him leave because you have regained your sanity. Sanity means being mentally healthy. Sanity, sane, and opposite insane. Sanity, insanity. So he thought he was mentally stable. He was mentally healthy. Since you were able to jump in and save another patient, because, since again here means because you could jump in and save another patient, that is your friend, you must be mentally stable. You are mentally healthy. You have no problems. You are cured. The bad news is that the patient that you saved, the patient, your friend, John, the patient that you saved hanged himself in the bathroom and died after all. So poor guy, hanged himself. David answered, Doctor, John didn't hang himself. I hung him there to dry. To dry. Well, everyone, you know the verb hang here. Well, it has two different past forms. When we hang someone, in the meaning, in the sense to kill them, hang, For example, they hanged the criminal, they hanged the robber. So hang in the meaning of to kill someone uh, has the past form of hanged. It is a regular verb. We add ed. The man was hanged. He hanged him. He killed him. All right, hang. But when we hang, for example, something on the wall, a picture, or when we hang something from the ceiling, okay, the past form is hung, okay. So hanged and hung, the same word but different meaning. Okay, that's it. This is the end of our class. Hope you enjoyed the class. Thanks for accompanying us, everyone. Well, until next session, take care and